Hi, and welcome to our next episode of We Signed Up for This Race Review podcast with Matt and Sue. Today we are coming to you live from, are you about to say something?
No.
Oh, you looked at me.
Just letting you talk.
I know I never do the openings. But we're coming to you live today, hot off the road trip back from Delaware to New York, where Matt ran the Coastal Delaware Festival. There was a 5K on Saturday. He ran the full marathon today. They do also have a 9K and a half marathon today as well. 9K, such a random distance that we both have never run.
No, it's
right.
But we found out the reason that they do the 9K. It's a nice little turnaround.
Oh, was it when you ran
Yes.
by? You never even actually updated
Yes,
me on that. So I said it probably just logistically doesn't fit.
I think it was unique, and a lot of people were doing that, so it was like a little buzz going on.
Oh, 100%. And I was going to say the majority, that's what I was about to say, is that the majority of the people that we met this weekend were doing, they have challenges, was the 5K and the 9K. I think we met more 9K people than we did half or marathons. Mm-hmm. But it was held in Rehoboth, Delaware, which is one of our favorite places to go.
Yes.
We have run another race there that we will talk about on a future episode.
Be on the lookout for that.
In December. So we love any chance to go there. I too was also signed up for the one of the challenges. I think it was the Fort Myers challenge or something.
I forget.
Some Fort challenge where I was supposed to do the 5K, and then I was going to do the half marathon today. But I found out 2 weeks ago that I have a torn meniscus. So not sure right now if I'm going to be having surgery or if I'm going to be doing PT. But racing is out for me for a while.
And she did a great job spectating this weekend. She was really getting into it a lot, and it was great to have you on the course this weekend, cheering me on.
Yeah, I was a little sad, but I had my cowbell.
Yep.
But yeah, so before we get into all of the races, I will say the win of the weekend was 2 days in a row. I was early before said time that you wanted to leave.
Yes, you did. Yes. Yeah, you were.
And I wasn't even getting ready for a race, but I was up and out and ready to go.
She was.
So tell me about this race.
It's a relatively new race. It started, well, I should say the weekend, started in 2015.
Okay.
Like Sue said, there's 4 events over the weekend. So the 5K is on a Saturday. It's actually not in Rehoboth. It was in Dewey Beach, which was kind of nice.
Which is great. Yeah, I don't think we ever got out of the car in Dewey Beach. I think we drove by it once.
Mm-hmm. And
it was lovely.
Lovely. And I think a big theme of the weekend is it was easy. It was not a small 5K. I thought it would be a little smaller. There was almost 900 people ran the 5K.
Oh yeah, it definitely seemed there was a lot of people going by in the beginning.
And we were able to drive up, get parking right away, close by.
Yeah. Well
organized. It had a very local vibe. You got a lot of people local, but there were people from out of town. We met a person from South Jersey that he said he's done the 5K and the 9K, I think, like 8 times. In a row. Yeah. He loved it. He was really raving about it. So it was really good. I was
going to say, you know what? I didn't meet any local runners. Everyone that we met, because we stayed, we'll talk about the hotel in a minute, but where we stayed, we met people from all over. We met other people from New York. I actually didn't really see any local people, but yes, the 5K definitely had a local feel.
Mm-hmm. And then it was nice. No, sorry.
I was going to say it was cool because the parking, and because it's still off season, right? Because it's April, there was plenty of parking. It even said that it's like, these beaches can handle like thousands of cars. Like you'll have enough parking, and you definitely did. Yeah,
but it was a nice flat course. On the water, you saw some of the gorgeous homes in the water, and it was just nice. And so,
was it windy?
That was not so bad, but it was nice. But
it rained last year, I think.
Yeah. But I will say my goal for the 5K, since I was running the full, was to use that as a shakeout run. And I know when the gun went off, Sue was very nervous of me just kind of going a little too fast, but I kept it nice and slow.
I know. I told you to start at the end. Yeah. I said start in the way back so you don't get caught up with everybody.
And I will say it was interesting running in the back of the pack a lot and just hearing the conversations. It's very different than I'm more of a middle of the pack runner. I like to think
more to the front of the pack.
I think now
I'm a mid backpacker, but I'm not towards the back of the pack.
No,
but the conversations you said you were hearing, I'm like, oh yeah, I hear that all. Those were my people.
It was definitely very interesting conversations. But it was just nice. We finished, and one of the main sponsors of this weekend was Growed Up Hot Pizza. So they had a pizza truck right there, and they were giving out pizza, which is always nice. And what I found interesting, I realized afterwards, looking at my stats, that as any race, it was never the exact distance.
Right.
You know, my finishing distance was 3.14.
Yeah.
Pi, being a math teacher.
And they were giving you grotto pizza at the end, which was cool. They had like a pizza truck and they were like making pizza. I don't know if anyone's ever eaten the grotto pizza, but it has like this like circle in it. And I got a video of you walking by having your pizza.
And it was
You tried to steal the whole thing.
I did. They kind of looked at me, but I was like, whatever. But it was just nice. And the weather really, this whole weekend, we got very lucky.
It was beautiful.
You know, Saturday was a little bit on the warmer side, but doing the 5K, I was okay with that. And it was nice, a little windier, but fine. And then, you know, we came in Friday night. And we Pack up pickup was at the Firehouse. And it was
right
really
over
easy.
Rehoboth Avenue. So everything's walkable.
You know, they gave out the T-shirts. They got a nice T-shirt for the full, and I have another T-shirt here for the 5K.
The T-shirts were nice. I have FOMO. I deferred my registration until next year. Part of me was like, oh, I should have just kept it and then gotten all the swag, but I wouldn't have worn it.
You know, I will say, and I think you and I both kind of agree with this take. I kind of like at this point some of the race shirts to be cotton, so that I can wear it around town or not, you know, to school. Sometimes I don't need any more race shirts, so this is cotton.
Yeah,
it's a nice, comfortable.
Yeah, I do like
a nice change. Thank you. So it was nice. So we had to pack up, pick up.
It's a nice design.
Yep. And they did give out, they gave out a pint glass with that, with the T-shirts. The registration was there. They had some swag. It was a smaller, I wouldn't even call it an expo.
It was more than what I thought was going to be there.
100%. One of the local running stores had a lot of Charm City had a lot of, swag there and just running clothing
the
stuff.
The Shocks booth was there. I was really excited.
They had some gooders.
They did have some gooders. They had your gels out. And it was actually like right across the street or like a few stores down and across the street from Charm City. And then of course Rehoboth Running Company, which is our other favorite race, which is in December, is down the block as well. A lot of runners in that area. So cycle store. It's nice.
You were able to pick up on Friday. And if you wanted to, you could have picked it up if you were going to do the challenge. They did do pick up at the day of the race for the 5K. Also, if you were coming in just to do on the Sunday races, you could have went there on Saturday, which was nice. It was really easy. And again, as Sue said, there was plenty of parking throughout town on the weekend. So, we were kind of nervous about that a little bit, coming down to a beach community and it being kind of crowded, but it was really nice.
Well, and the packet pickup on Friday, what was also really nice was that it was until 9:00. So we left New York a little bit later than we had wanted to. I actually got in to see the orthopedic doctor last minute on a Friday to check out what was going on with my knee. And, I asked him if I could run and he was like, yeah, no, you can't run. So I had one last hope, but, definitely I couldn't run. But so even though we left a little bit later than we thought, packet pickup, I want to say was 5 to 9 or 6 to 9?
No, so if you were doing the challenge, you got an hour earlier.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
And then someone said the VIP got even an hour. So we didn't eat earlier if we're driving in. But for it to be open till 9, I thought it was great because once we looked, I was getting nervous that a lot of times packet pickups end by like 7 or 8. Depending on traffic, getting over a bridge to get off the island or get through Staten Island sometimes, depending on what happens with that. We were nervous, but when I saw 9:00, I was like, oh, that's awesome. So that's like a really...
Usually I'm the nervous one about that. When I saw that, I was like, we'll be fine.
Yeah, because it was perfect. It took off a lot of pressure. And even if like you had to leave later in the day or like we were thinking even for next year, it worked out because we had spring break this year. But for next year, when I accept my deferral entry, if we leave or we do a half day, when we go, we'll definitely make it by 9:00.
And again, if we didn't, we can make it into the 5K
in the morning. Yes, we saw it. Definitely, people were picking up their bibs at the 5K in the morning. And Dewey Beach was lovely. We had never went to Dewey Beach. We saw the water over there. It was like a little like community that you got to start in. It was really nice.
It was really nice.
A little playground so your kids could come and hang and play.
It was a really fun, cool 5K.
Yeah.
Good course. I personally, people are like, oh, it's a flat course and the PR. Yes.
For the 5K or the?
But for the 5K.
Oh.
I think it's all relative to where you live and where you train. Because when I hear a flat course, I live in Long Beach, very flat surface, sometimes windy, but a pancake flat. This was not pancake flat. There was a little bit of elevation, but nothing crazy. But if you're living in an area that is very hilly, I could see people looking at this as a flat.
You did say
I could see some people that had some flatness to it. But it was a nice course. I could see it being on the faster side. But personally, I don't think it would be one where if I was going for a PR.
A lot of like high school kids came in first. They were booking. One kid ran with his phone in his hand the whole time. He came in like third or something like that. They were doing so good.
Yeah, the kids run fast these days.
Yeah, some strollers.
Yeah.
They all beat you.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
We'll talk about who beat me in the marathon.
I was really happy to see that you came in after 30 minutes. I was like, oh, good. Jeez.
Yes.
I
stuck to my plan. And it was really nice, in shakeout.
When we met that guy in the parking lot, and he was like started saying all his like race stats and how he places in the age group, and he came here and he just ran, the Philly Love Run and blah blah blah. And he's like, and I win this, and I came in this place. But I'm like, oh, Matt's gonna totally race this guy.
No,
I was so happy you didn't start. I'm like,
very reserved.
Not start anywhere near him. I was like, oh, that's it. It's over.
And I will say, where the maturity and understanding of things, I lined up for the race and then I texted Sue. I was like, oh, what side are you on? So that I can, because I know she was going to video me coming out of the chute to make sure that she was. And she goes, oh, on your left. I said, okay, no problem. So I made sure to go on my left. I see her. I run by. I wave. I smile. Hang on.
It was a really cute video.
What happened, Sue? Where's the video?
I didn't hit record. I was in camera mode. So when I went to go do it, I didn't even get a picture of you, because when I hit it, it took the people that were already going to get me, because I thought I was stopping the video and I was taking a picture of random people. There was like nobody at the end because you finished.
So she really didn't start off spectating very well.
I then went to where the Grotto pizza truck was and the bananas and everything, and behind the playground. And I took a video of me saying how bad I am at spectating, because I'm normally not there spectating. I'm normally running.
So be on the lookout for the outcuts of that one. That'll be fun.
So yes, I did not get a video of you doing that, but I got a video of you finishing.
Yes, you did. It was nice. And then afterwards, we went back to one of my favorite places.
After the 5K?
Yep.
What is that?
I got my lunch. One of my favorite.
Oh, Wawa.
Wawa. I love Wawa.
And I got coffee. I love the coffee at Wawa. They had a nice new one. It was like caramel something. Yeah. It was really good.
So I do
like Wawa coffee.
So my thing is, before a marathon, I like to get a hero, just turkey, lettuce, tomato. Depending where you are from, you might call it a sub or a grinder. Hoagie. It's all the same. I usually go to Jersey Mike's, but we were down there. They did have a Jersey Mike's, but I do love Wawa. So
I was surprised you didn't want to. When we saw the Jersey Mike's, we were like, oh, you can go there. And then you opted not to.
Yeah, because I wanted to mix it up a little bit. So we got our lunch, my good sub, hero. We went back to the hotel. The hotel was A+.
It was awesome. In my little hotel water.
Yep. It was literally next door to the pack-up pickup, and I would say 0.3 to the start and finish of the marathon.
Yeah.
And
it was called Coast.
Yeah.
Coast. It was a new affiliate of Hilton. We had seen it because we stayed somewhere else the other two times we were there, but we had always walked by, and it's always this like lovely blue and like very pretty.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, let's stay there this time. And luckily they were one of the host hotels. Yeah. So they had like a discount, code for it. It was great.
Yeah, it was highly recommended.
Very accommodating. Yep. They knew we needed a late checkout for today. And they said, oh yeah, no, not a problem. But you have to ask for in the morning, which a lot of hotels do that. You can't like pre-ask for it. I guess they have to make sure. But they said, no, we know that everyone's running and everyone's going to need to get here and shower. They're like, so we're prepared for it, which they were. They were so great.
And then at 5 o'clock, they had mimosa tasting.
4 to 5, and
sorry.
It was not mimosas. It was sangria.
Oh, I'm
and It was red and white sangria, and it was delicious. The one, I will say, the one benefit of not running the 5K and the half for me this weekend, as we mentioned before, I am gluten-free, so normally I'm very strict with what I eat, especially before a marathon, and you know, in general, but like I wouldn't even risk eating out. So this was actually lovely because I had some sangria the night before.
And you went to the barbecue place.
I did eat. We went to the new barbecue place that we hadn't gone because every other time we've been there, I ran the marathon last time and then the half the next year. So we got to try some new places, which was kind of cool.
And I will say,
go.
That the one thing that every time we've been down to Rehoboth, what the community does is they do a lot of different events. So as we're walking to the barbecue place, we see groups of people walking with like Mardi Gras beads to like in and out. And
is it like Mardi Gras in like New Orleans? He's like, no, isn't that like February?
Yeah. So we see.
We had no idea what was going on.
They did a gumbo
crawl
that they had all different locations people can go to and try gumbo.
Yep.
And
when we went to go walk to the barbecue place, I'm like, oh my God, there's such a line right now. I'm like, we should have called and put our names on it. And they're like, oh no, we're just online for gumbo.
And so we were talking to the people and they're like, oh, you should come next week. It's the chocolate crawl.
I wish we were there for chocolate crawl.
And then in December, they did the SantaCon crawl. When
we were there to run the other one, the Rehoboth Marathon, then it was all of a sudden that night was like SantaCon.
Yeah. So I will say they do a really good job of just a lot of different things go on and they handle it really, really well.
Yeah.
So shout out to the city of Rehoboth.
It's definitely cool.
Yeah. So we went to the barbecue place. We ate there.
It's delicious.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then for dinner, we walked down to one of the restaurants on the boardwalk. Sue stopped to get a little appetizer.
Because so in December when we go down, the French fry place is never open and it's gluten-free French fries. So I did get French fries before we went to dinner, which of course made me full for dinner, but that was okay. The French fries were delicious and they're nice and gluten-free. So I got to eat them. It
was above the dune. It's a restaurant.
We love it there.
Yeah, it's a really nice restaurant. It overlooks the water. And all I wanted at that point was pasta. And the only pasta they had was a kid's
butter pasta.
Spaghetti. So I turned to the waitress and I said, listen, this is going to sound, can I get the kids pasta? I'm running the marathon tomorrow. And she said, yeah, no problem. So I got a little kids pasta, which was perfect. It was not too much, not too heavy. And it was exactly what I needed and wanted.
Yep. That was cute.
Yeah. So then we went back to the hotel that night. I will say also, just to go back, I forgot to say, at the 5K, they did have one water stop, which was nice for people that would need it. Also, which was nice, it was a 9 o'clock start.
That was the best part. That was why I made it out of the door.
So it was a little, at first I was like, oh, we're going to have to get up. But we were able to sleep a little bit on that. Because you also, I would think a lot of people will stay in Rehoboth and you have to drive to Dewey Beach.
Yeah. It was like a 10-minute drive, not a big deal. But you couldn't just walk to the start of the 5K if you're staying down in Rehoboth like we were. Mm-hmm. We could walk to everything else.
And so then on Sunday, they do the 3 events. They have the marathon, the half marathon, and the 9K. And I will say, so for the entire weekend, I looked up, they had over 3,700 runners for all 3 events. The marathon had about 750. The half had over 1,400, which not surprising. A half marathon usually, if they have multiple events, is one of the larger ones.
What did the 9K have?
676.
Wow.
So that was actually surprising. So
I would have thought, based on all the people we met that were doing the 9K, I would have thought more, but that's still really
a lot.
That's a lot. That's why it was like buzzing with a lot of people.
But I will say the one thing that they did really well, which I liked, is they staggered the starts for the events. So the marathon started at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
The 9K started at 7:20. And then I think the half started at 7:40. So
and there was three waves: 7:40, 7:41, 7:42.
Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah, probably because it was so large.
So which was nice is when you get down, there, and even if you're local,
and then because you're not competing against 9K people running past you at.
But I will say, you didn't have to fight for. There was plenty of porta potties, but also by the bandstand there is real bathrooms for you to go to.
That's awesome. So that's so good.
Yeah, so you're able. with the stagger, you know, you had all these runners, but it wasn't overly crowded.
And we rolled out with like half hour to go, which is so not like Matt. We always call it Matt time because if he'd rather be like 3 hours earlier or something than like.
I remember that it's an easy one there. That this is one of those races you can just roll up to it. Yeah. And I was able to use the bathroom, and we got to the start. They did a really nice job of the pre-race ceremonies. They did the national anthem. They sung, and they had some nice music. And you know, I will say. I wanted to say this also. If you look up this race, they say it's known as a flat and fast course. It is not a flat and fast course. But by no means would I say it's a hilly course. Right. I would classify this as a mostly flat course. It does have some hills. And when I say hills, some people go, oh my God, you're crazy. It's not.
Elevation.
There's some elevation. But I would say it's just kind of a little rolling here and there. And the second thing that I should have known that I didn't realize and remember from the last 2 times, because both of if you run the Coastal Delaware or the Rehoboth in December, they're very much the same course, some slight variations here and there, but a lot of it runs through the parks.
Yeah, the state park.
It's through solid gravel. And I will say that, you know, running on gravel takes a lot more of your energy than running on the cement or concrete or pavement or anything solid. You don't
have as like solid footing.
So it definitely hurt my time a little bit. But with that being said, I was okay with it. But I remember as I was like, oh my God, I remembered this and someone said it. But I would say about 75% of the course is on the gravel. With that being said, it is probably one of the more scenic courses. Yeah. It is gorgeous.
That little like bridge with the field.
Yeah.
That was
There's a lot of farms. But again, if you're looking for a race that has a lot of spectators or you need the energy of the crowd, this is not for you.
No.
A lot of the race, you're just going to be alone with other runners. And that's it.
And so my experience at Rehoboth was I wasn't even with runners. There was parts when I was going over that bridge and I was down in like that back part and like turning around. I was like by myself at some points. And I don't run with music, but it was so peaceful and it was like lovely. It was like, and at that time when I did the Rehoboth Marathon, I'd only done New York City and I did New York City twice. So I had New York City crowds. And then I remember doing Rehoboth. That was my redemption one because of the death marathon that I call that 78-degree heat New York City. And it was just such a stark contrast to all the crowds, but it was so peaceful. Yes. But yes, there was a lot of gravel. Tell them what you saw on the course.
Yes. So this was my 20th marathon. And and I will say, and I can't even tell you how many different races from 5K to marathon that I've done. So it is always interesting when you finish a race and you can say, I saw something I've never seen before.
A man dressed as a taco.
No, I've seen that before. And you can say, a man dressed as a taco beat you. Yes, that's happened, but not today.
I thought you said he
wasn't a taco.
Oh, what was he?
I don't even know.
Oh, I saw taco or something.
So
I don't know.
It might have been. It was weird. I wasn't like, I didn't think it was that.
And then Batman at the end. Yeah. Congratulated you.
But let's stay on course. We saw a deer come out of the woods, cut in front of a bunch of runners.
I would have died.
It was like, never saw that and almost hit some people.
And I go, did you get a video?
No, I don't run with my phone like the kids.
I would have tried to get a video. That would have been so cool.
But I will say, which was nice about this course today on Sunday today, the weather was temperature-wise as perfect as I could have. I think when we started, it was probably like 49, 50 degrees, no wind.
Yep. My fingers were cold. When did you ditch the gloves?
Mile 3 or 4.
You're glad you kept them in the beginning?
Yeah.
Because my fingers, even just standing out there with I had my cowbell, my fingers started getting cold.
So I just wore, and I was kind of going back and forth. Do I want to wear a base layer or not? I actually walked down to the start with a base layer and I took it off. Because
it wasn't that bad.
No.
It said it felt worse than it was.
Yeah. So,
but it definitely.
So I ran with my standard t-shirt and shorts and I was very comfortable. I didn't feel like I was overheating. It being on the ocean and the coast, yes, there was some breeze and some wind. Nothing too crazy. Yeah. Again, depending on where you come from, some people might say that it was really bad. Like I said, I live on the ocean, so I get I don't have a lot of hills, but I train a lot in the wind. So when it says like 10 to 15 miles per hour winds, I'm like, okay, I can handle it. It does hurt a little bit of the time, but it's not something that I'm not used to. You tell me to go up a big hill, I'm slowing down. Yeah.
How were the aid stations for the?
They were really good.
Oh yeah.
They were spread out very nicely.
Nice.
Fully stocked.
Gatorade water.
Gatorade water, and they had a mix of it, and I like the fact, and this is just my own thing. I like when the people and they were fully staffed. Nice. So, and you'd be proud of me. I didn't yell at anyone at our station today. That's a story for another day.
It's only at the Hamptons Marathon.
Yes. But I liked how they have the people with the water first. So I can grab a water and a Gatorade.
Oh, really? See, I like Gatorade first.
Actually, you're right.
I like drinking Gatorade and then I drink water to switch it down.
You can tell I just ran a marathon and we drove 5 hours. You're right. It was the Gatorade first. You drink the Gatorade and then the water.
Yes, that's the way. That's the way to do
I'm
it.
sorry. Yes, you are correct. It was nice. And what also what they did, and you could tell these people working the stations were very experienced at it. Yeah. Because if people feel work a station is sometimes they fill the cup too much. That's so when you start to take a drink and you're all over.
Were they paper cups?
Paper cups.
Nice.
And they had garbage pails, so you felt like it was nice. Good. And again, it wasn't very crowded since I think they spread out the half, and so you were able to go through the stations, no problem. Yeah. You didn't feel overcrowded.
And you ran the whole thing?
Yes, I ran the whole thing.
What was your finish time?
My finish time was 3 hours, 54 minutes, and 17 seconds.
Good job.
I'm very proud of it. I was looking to go sub 340, 350. I didn't hit it, but
you didn't account for that packed gravel.
So listen, sometimes you don't hit your mark, but you know that you really ran a really good race, and I came out of this.
You came out like smiling, and you're like, "No, I'm good. I'm good." I was like nervous. I kept like watching your splits. I was like, "Oh shoot!"
And it was also an interesting, training cycle with the cold that we had this winter. I did a lot of my training, more than I've ever done before on a treadmill, to the point I did multiple long runs, 18, 20 miles on a treadmill, which I've never done before. Right. And I was.
You were like a little,
I was nervous to see how that would translate. Yeah. As I got warmer, I did a good number, 2, 3, I think, I can't remember off the top of my head, long runs of, 20 miles, 18 miles outdoors to acclimate. But I wasn't sure. But even then, even during taper and everything, because again, shocking, well, this past week, we got another cold spell where it dropped down to 30 degrees. Yeah. I was still doing a lot of my training on the treadmill. And
I know I even go to you, I'm like, aren't you going to go outside? Like, don't you want to go try outside?
But it was just cold and windy, and it wasn't. And I don't feel that it hurt me. No. I think it helped a lot. So that was a good plus on that one.
That was awesome.
I will say also this one, it takes a while for each individual person to figure out nutrition. And that is honestly, I think, one of the biggest things where people can improve upon. A lot of the research has changed through the years of carb loading. Yeah. And the amount of carb loading. And I
will say you definitely carb loaded a lot this week. Every time I looked at you, you had a pretzel in your mouth.
Yes. I went very heavy on the carb loading. And it worked for me. Yeah. You have to figure out what works for you, but it worked for me, to supplement, because there's only so many bagels, how many pretzels you can eat. I mean, when we were driving down, I think every other place I was eating pretzels, and Annie's, Wawa pretzels. Yes. I got them.
Thank God for rest stations that have the pretzel places.
I was drinking, Powerades, the full sugar ones, and stuff like that. So I think that was definitely helpful.
Show us your medals.
Oh, before that, and I will say I was able to lock in my nutrition on the race. Gels. So if you want to try to test some things out, don't be hesitant to put more gels or whatever food you're doing on the course. Because I used to, back in the day, I'd be like, I'll take 1 or 2. And then I was bonking and cramping up. And
you would only take 1 or 2 gels?
Yeah, back in the day. But I was stubborn, like, oh, I could do it without it, not, you know. And then this one, the previous ones I was doing 4 gels. And I would go the last 10K without a gel. As I was driving back, I told Sue, I took a gel at mile 23. And I think that really had a big positive impact at the end. So the last 10K, I was able to really pick up my pace, really come in strong. I did not hit the wall.
Yeah. You came in looking strong.
Yeah, so I think that was a big factor to it.
Yeah.
All right. So as for the medals, here we go. I got 3 medals since I did the challenge.
2 t-shirts, 3 medals.
And a hat.
And a hat. The hat was cute. I know you said you didn't.
It's not my style of a hat.
But it's cute.
Yep.
It was cute. Everyone was walking around with their hats.
They did give a medal for a 5K. So it's a little small, nice little medal.
But it's like a 5K.
Yep. This is probably one of the biggest medals that I've gotten for a full.
It was so big. It's huge.
And heavy.
And people were walking around. Like, it reminded me just like of like a rapper.
Yes. And I like this little tag, like
it says the
tag,
year
2026 on it. It's a nice medal, and it's a really cool, nice detail.
Because what's cool, like something like COVID, they could just take it off and put the year on it.
But I will say, I see sometimes a lot of the medals have too much on it.
Yeah.
But
I like it's like you can see through.
Yeah.
It's like a little like glass.
Mm-hmm. So it's a nice nice medal. It has the nice ribbon.
That's really nice.
It's a nice medal.
It's very cute.
And then I got the tower challenge that was medal also right here, which is kind of nice and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So yep.
I liked it.
Yep. But I would say overall, great weekend.
Yeah, I think it was good. I think it was well organized. I think it, had a lot for people to do who were running and not running. Anyone who was there with family or friends.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much to do in there. It was really nice to be in Rehoboth in April when more stores were open, and it's definitely a different feel than December. We still have never been to. We always joke around how we're going to move to Rehoboth or Dewey or Bethany or somewhere down there. That's our retirement plan. We love it down there. But we've never actually been there in the summer. So we got a little taste of it where there was people walking around, but we're like, oh, we can only imagine if this was the summer and you were all fighting for beach spots or getting to the beach and parking and, because it was definitely way more crowded than we were used to seeing it. Mm-hmm. But like in a nice way. So like you could people watch. When I had my sangria at the hotel, we were like just sitting, by the front, people were going to pick up, it was the Saturday, so people were going to pick up their bibs, and you could people watch, and there was a lot of people out, and there's benches everywhere. People were walking everywhere. It's a lovely, if you've never been to Rehoboth, Delaware, you definitely have to go check the town out. There's so much to do there. So many little stores and funky little record shops and bookstores and coffee shops. A great place for breakfast called Egg that we still have not gone to, but I've heard is great. So we're going to go there. I said it like 16 times as we passed it. So we'll get there one day. Yeah. But okay. So I'm going to ask you. You always ask me the ratings. Yep. Since I do not run this, I don't have a say in this ratings. So I'm going to say for the scorecard, race organization, 1 out of 5.
I'm going to give it a 4.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I'm going to be critical here.
Okay.
I thought that the chute at the beginning of the race was too narrow.
I agree. For today,
yeah. And so I think that is probably my most critical thing. But after that, I'm going to say 4.5.
And I watched the runners coming back in, and the volunteers at the end were hodgepodging what they were giving people. So like one person was shoving a water bottle in your face, and then one person was shoving a medal, but then they were throwing you a hat, and you only have 2 hands, and you just ran a marathon. I was watching a lot of the marathon runners come in, and it was almost like disorienting, whereas they should have like spaced them out a little bit more, and or like they should have had all the hat people in one area, all the medal people in one area. It was every other, so that the second someone ended, they were like shoving 3 things in someone's face. I felt so bad. I was about to like say something to them.
This is going to sound also kind of weird because you finish and it's like, and there's a crowd, and I well, critical of the New York races where you have to walk another mile to get out. And stuff.
Yeah.
This was almost the opposite of it. You walked out and I was like, it's like, wait.
And then you didn't have enough. Like you needed some.
I want a little space to breathe and just kind of like, okay, get my bearings and stuff.
And I
like
didn't
that.
see any like medics at the end, which was also weird. Like there was a few people that were like cramping up at the end, and there was no one there ready to help them. Yeah. So that part made me a little nervous too. But again, it was very short. And
there's so much around, so they might have.
Of course, and there was like beach patrol. Whatever.
That's also nitpicking a little bit too.
It is nitpicking. So, but listen, if those are the only things that's to complain about, then that means it's an otherwise good race. So, Expo, what do you think?
I'm going to say a 5.
Because you like little extras.
I love little. Well, you walk in, you get your bib, you get your stuff. You don't have.
The one thing was that you had to go upstairs, which normally, I guess, if you're about to run a marathon or if you're about to whatever, you can go up 2 flights of stairs at the firehouse. But I'm injured, and going up and down stairs is hard for me. And you're like, oh, do you want to just wait down here? But I didn't want to be left out, so I hobbled up the stairs and hobbled down. People are probably staring at me like, what is this girl doing? Because she can't even go up and down stairs.
But even with that being said, you walked up.
It was fine.
They were quick. They had it all organized.
Oh yeah,
the layout was nice.
Huge,
so
and then downstairs. Then when you were in the Coastal Delaware swag, they had so much swag. Mm-hmm. They had way more than other like races like this. Mm-hmm. It was actually almost a little bit like wine glass. The amount of swag that they had for this, because it was so good. They had these zipper jackets and quarter zips, t-shirts. It was like really nice, but you couldn't get to then the Charm City side unless you went out.
But it wasn't that big of a deal.
But it was fine. It was all in one little area, which was cool. Race morning.
I'm going to give it a 5. I liked it.
And for both of them.
Yeah. Both 100%. The vibe was good. Music was good. Yeah. I liked the ceremonies.
And being able to walk to the start right from where
and
we
the
stayed.
Bathrooms were there, porta potties. I think as most runners will tell you, that's probably the most important thing, being able to use the bathroom before you go. So I'm going to give that a 5.
Yeah. Yep. The course and scenery, including deer.
I'm going to give this a 4. And it really will come down to personal preference. So, I think
but that I would say that the preserve is beautiful.
It is. But some people might not like that. Some people might.
It's what you like. It's your rating. And think about before you did the Rehoboth Marathon twice.
Yep.
That first time you saw it. So I've only seen that once because I've only done the Rehoboth Marathon once. And I remember being so beautiful. If I went and I ran this today, I might be like, oh yeah, I remember this bridge. It was pretty. But so you might be skewed.
Maybe.
No? Okay. But what's your 4? I'll give you your 4.
I just think that and now it could also be the logistics. I would have liked to see and run a little bit through more of the town.
Oh, okay. I could see that.
Yeah. It is a gorgeous town.
Because you were on that trail and then you came back in the park.
Just to change it up a little bit, to hit some of the streets and stuff like that.
But it's also really hard because they would have to close it down for such a long time.
If you remember in Rehoboth in December, the beginning you go down the main strip, right? And that's like a...
Oh, yeah. You go away from the bandstand down and then around the boardwalk, like the first 2 miles, then you come back there.
Exactly.
So they only have to close down that front.
Exactly.
This was the start and the finish was on the boardwalk.
So to me, I like a little bit of that as a change.
That is true. I like running by houses.
Yep.
I do like
different.
that. Yeah. Like that South Shore, the old Entenmann's.
Yep.
That one I love because the houses are great South Bay. That course is so pretty because the houses are so pretty on the water. Brewery Run, beautiful too. Yeah. Okay. So I hear what you're saying. Yes.
That's all. I'm nitpicking. Don't get me wrong.
Aid stations.
I'm going to give this a 5. Yeah. I really was very impressed.
How spread out were they?
About 1.5 miles to 2 miles.
Perfect.
To the point where they were there when I needed it.
Nice.
I never was like, oh my God, I can't wait. Also, I will say that also was to the weather. So, but
it was a little cooler.
But I will say the Felice
Marathon when he yelled at a poor kid because there was no more cups. Story for another day.
Not one of my proudest moments.
Sorry, kid, if you're watching.
I did feel bad about that.
Crowd sport.
But things that happen at mile 24 of a marathon in a very hot and humid day.
Crowd sport.
Yep.
Crowd sport. What's your rating for crowd sport?
crowd support? 2.
Yeah, there was
not much.
There was not much. The boardwalk was jamming.
Boardwalk, yeah. But,
and then that one little area that I walked at mile 2 when I went down to see you.
Yeah, and that was it.
6 of us.
That's the thing.
There was 6 of us.
If you're a person that needs a lot of crowd support, this is not the race for you.
But I also wonder, so you were the first, how many people were at the marathon?
750.
Oh, so that, okay. So, because I would say that is pretty big, but I was wondering if maybe by the time, like 40 minutes later, when the half people get out there, would it have been more?
I don't think so, because even the Rehoboth one, that's not that much also. Oh, but actually, no, I take that back, because they do have Flag Alley. There's more people around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And listen, some people, and I honestly, I do like a little bit of more crowd support, but this was fine also. Yeah. It's nice. Sometimes to just
the Wine Glass Marathon, I didn't feel had a lot of crowd support. Only in some areas.
You would have like kind of little like towns pop up and be like 15, 20 people. You're like, all right, cool. And then it would be quiet. Then, cool.
Remember there was like one guy at Wine Glass who was calling my name, and I saw him twice, and I had no idea who he is. The first time he like called my name, and I don't ever wear my name on my shirt. We can talk about that some other day. But he called my name, and I was like, that was weird. But like I didn't process because I was running. Then when I saw him the next time, I'm like, how do you know my name? He's like, I'm looking you up on the app. Like he was typing our names in as we were coming by. It like freaked me out.
Well, this one, the bib had
I do remember that.
In this race, the bib had your name on it.
Yeah.
So
we there was another race that we just did that had that.
A lot of the races, I think, are starting.
Toronto. Toronto? I feel like Toronto. Yeah, Toronto.
Yeah, I think
Toronto.
A lot of them.
So I don't put my name on it, and some people were calling my name, but luckily it was like tiny.
Yeah.
Finish line.
I'm going to say another 4.5.
Really? See, I would have rated it a little lower.
But, okay, let me explain.
Okay.
I do like, as you guys have heard me say this before, I do like when you have that finish line, especially in a marathon, when you see it, you feel it, and it kind of, that vibe.
That's what you do. You do that when you're
And so this race, you pull up on the boardwalk, and you have about a half a mile, maybe a little bit less before the finish line. And which is nice is it's a straight path, and you can see it there. So it's visually there, and you see,
that's nice.
And there's,
and since it's open, wall-to-wall people.
and it's public, so there's a lot of people there. And the only reason I was going to give it a 4.5, not a 5, was there are just people spending their day at the beach, walking around. So you have to kind of bob and weave a little bit, but nothing too drastic.
And I will say the MC who kept telling people to like spread out because people were getting so narrow.
But I liked
that
it.
Some people were having a hard time. There was like 4 or 5 people. I think they were running. There was like a few marathons mixed in with some halfers that were coming in. And there was about 4 or 5 of them. And there was 3 girls, like everyone all dressed the same. 3 of them were running in together, and they couldn't get through because they were running next to each other.
But when I got there, it was nice to have, 2, 3 people deep, and just, it was a nice vibe.
Yeah, it was like a shoot. Yeah, but they didn't have like fences.
No,
they had fences on the other side for like where I was.
They should have put them on the other side.
Yeah, but like you said too, it's a public boardwalk, and people are going around, so they can't probably close off.
It had a good vibe at the finish line.
Yeah. The medal swag. What do you think?
I'm gonna go 5 out of 5. They really did a nice job with a lot of the swag.
Nice. Yeah. Medals are big.
Yeah.
And the pint glass. We should have brought the pint glass. And the pint glass was awesome. I love pint glasses. I love race pint glasses. I basically have slowly been replacing all of my glassware upstairs with pint glasses from races. So I'm very excited to add this one to our collection. The value for money.
I'm going to give it a
sense.
The value.
The value for what you paid.
Another 4.5, I'd say.
Yeah, it wasn't like an overly. I don't remember what I paid, but it wasn't overly expensive.
Yeah. No, it was good.
And I think the difference between the half and the full wasn't even that much more.
Yeah. Listen, nowadays, a lot of the races they're getting expensive. It's just a fact of life at this point.
Yeah.
The race.
And permits and
there's a lot of things going on. But what I will say, at least for this race, all the stuff that I have, I did not buy anything at the expo. This was all given with my entry fee, so I kind of like that. And
you got to leave with a lot of good stuff.
I do like a race that has a finisher. The hat's a finisher hat. It says finisher on the back. So I do like that kind of
Yeah.
So whenever they give you
I
a
like
little
that
bit
too.
more,
Yeah.
you know, you flip it to like the New York City Marathon, which is probably one of, I think, the most expensive race that I've run. I know you probably with some of the Ironman that you've done is a little bit more money, but for just a marathon, it's one of the most expensive ones.
Yeah.
The only thing you get is a t-shirt.
It's a shirt. Long sleeve.
And it's not even that good of a shirt.
I know. I don't love it.
So,
Listen, I do like New Balance. I do like their stuff. I like them.
but they're not.
But it's like a
The
cheaper.
design is never nice, but we'll talk about that another day.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
The location of this race.
I'm going to have to go 5 out of 5. I love Rehoboth.
Same.
It really is just a great location, the vibe,
Yeah.
everything about it.
And we got to see Dewey. Dewey was great too.
All over. Just a great place. And honestly,
Coastal Delaware.
Yeah.
Big fans
even if you're looking at a place to go over the summer,
for vacation.
family friendly.
Yep.
I would
Lots of
recommend.
hotels. You can stay like right in town and walk through everything.
Yep,
Yeah.
I agree.
And the hotel was great. Shout out to Coast. I love that they have coffee. They had coffee like 24 hours a day, which was so great. Because we've been to some races before too. And we wake up in the morning and I go downstairs and it's like 4:30 or 5 in the morning. And I'm like, they're like, oh no, we don't put coffee on until 7. That's annoying, right? If you know there's a race, whatever. But I went down there at 5 this morning and coffee was brewed and ready to go. And, I appreciate that on race morning too.
Yep.
So that was great. And then walking to everything, which is awesome. So overall, what do you think? Final score?
4.5.
Okay.
Just because of the little things, but nothing major.
You're nitpicking.
I am 100% nitpicking.
But listen, it was your 20th marathon, so that is, I guess you can nitpick because you've now seen
a lot of different things.
a lot of different.
But it definitely
You should be a race
delivered.
consultant. You can nitpick on everything.
I can do that.
I'm surprised it's not me. Normally, I wouldn't nitpick on anything.
Yeah,
Although that finish line really, because I was there for about 45 minutes of watching them. I'm like, I have to go in there and organize you guys because it was just not working.
But I had a great weekend.
Yep.
It was
You had a good race.
Good race.
Congrats on 20.
Thank you.
It's pretty cool.
And great job spectating. It was really.
Thanks.
It was nice.
I got to up my game. I'm not as
Yeah,
good
out
as
of practice.
I was a little sad. Listen, I was sad. I tried to not be sad, but
So if you have any advice, if you've been injured, how did you handle it? Please put it in the comments.
yeah,
'Cause
let me know
Sue
what to
can
do.
really use that.
And let me know how to not go crazy because I can't run. My doctor said I can do wall sits. But not low wall sits. I can do very little wall sits so that my legs don't just stop working. But no, I'm really sad. But I did defer to next year, so I will be able to go back and do the challenge next year. I'm signed up for the half, the 5K and the half. And I'm excited to do it, but my luck, it'll be some monsoon or some weird hailstorm or what was the guy talking about? Hail. And
I don't know.
listen, we met some awesome people.
Yes.
That one lady that we met during Sangria Hour.
Yep.
I'm so sad that I did not get her name. She was from New York. She was from upstate in Albany, and her daughter does Taekwondo. My daughter does Taekwondo. She's trying to run all 50 states. We're trying to run all 50 states. And then she went to leave and I was like, oh, was that weird? I don't know as an adult to be like, hey, let's exchange information. But she was so great. So I hope you had a great race. Our friend from Albany. But we met some really cool people. Everyone there is so friendly. We got to talk to a lot of people. The Bethany, what was it? Downtown Barbecue, Bethany Blues or something like that. It was so great. We had never went there before. The manager there was so nice, so accommodating with allergies. We had to navigate through the gumbo people. But they were so great too. Everyone had Mardi Gras stuff on, walking around the town. It's a lovely, lovely place to be. So a lot of fun. So definitely check it out. Put it on your radar. And again, there's 2 bigger ones. This one was billed as the coolest marathon or the coolest festival. What was it?
Coolest.
I don't know. Coolest
I don't know.
in Delaware. And I don't know if that means because April's cooler than December, but I would think December would be cooler. I have no idea. But Rehoboth and the Rehoboth Run Company Marathon and Half is probably one of our favorite. We will review that next time. We have now done that one twice. Their after party is phenomenal. So we'll review that next time. But definitely check out the races in Delaware.
And don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll see you at the start line.
And congrats on 20.
Thank you.